big deal?
Well, it's a big deal for the Chicago Bears. It wouldn't have been a big deal if Aaron Rodgers had lost because, number one, he's Aaron Rodgers. Unlike some people, he's a bad man, okay? So let's be clear about that, all right? And him, being the experienced veteran superstar football player, quarterback that he is, it wouldn't have been a big deal. It wouldn't have been a big deal, particularly when you're playing with a first-year head coach who failed up, had the 27th ranked offense in Tennessee, and gets a head coaching job in Green Bay. But that's a different subject for another day. It is a very big deal for Mitchell Trubisky because even though they lost the game, it would have been one thing had they lost 30-27 or something like that. You scored 3 points against the Packers defense. Now, we can talk about the Packers defense, and we can act like there's something special, and maybe they are. But the fact is, throughout recent history, meaning the last decade, that has not been the case when it comes to the Green Bay Packers. You had questions about the Chicago Bears and what they were going to be able to do offensively. Nobody's questioning that defense led by Khalil Mack and those boys, or Leonard Floyd and those boys. They were questioning the offense, Mitchell Trubisky, and what was he going to be able to do? And the answer was absolutely, positively nothing. He couldn't get anything done last night. He had to force a couple throws. Obviously, Adrian Amos intercepted that pass in the end zone. That was a forced pass. He had to try and get a touchdown. Couldn't settle for a field goal. We understand that. But really, really couldn't do anything all night long. And that's why Nagy said after the game, the offense was ridiculous. It was unimpressive. If the Bears are going to be anything, it's going to have to be their offense that does something. We know what their defense is going to do. Their defense is elite. But once again, the offense, just like they did in the playoffs against the Philadelphia Eagles, even though everybody wanted to blame it on the field goal kicker, the offense of the Chicago Bears, devoid of the requisite weapons for Mitchell Trubisky to work with, by the way, let's not forget that. The bottom line is their offense is suspect. Mitchell Trubisky is suspect. He's the guy that you elected ahead of Patrick Mahomes. He's the guy that you elected ahead of Deshaun Watson. That guy is your quarterback. You moved up to get him, and the fact of the matter is he didn't have a good start last night, and that's something to be concerned about.
Well, the Patrick Mahomes ship has sailed. Trubisky's never going to be as good as Patrick Mahomes has already been. I don't care what he does. It's just that's not in most players who ever lived. And probably the Deshaun Watson ship maybe has sailed too. Is it a big deal? The answer is no, not yet. Is it a big deal for the Packers? Look, new head coach. Aaron Rodgers, for the first time, has a new head coach as a pro. Aaron Rodgers wants more responsibility, all these things. We've seen it in the preseason, guys basically not practicing. Offense can be a little slow out the gate when you have to learn new stuff, and defense can just go attack, attack, attack. So it's not a big deal yet. However, did Aaron Rodgers look good? No, he did not. Is it a big deal for the Bears? The answer is no, not yet. Because we saw Nagy and Trubisky have a whole season of success last year. Nagy's offense, there were receivers constantly wide open for Trubisky to throw to. But the answer is not yet, because now let's see you do it again. The league's had some time. Let's see you do it again. The defense is probably going to regress because of the turnovers regressing to the mean. Let's see you do it again. And then for the NFL, is this a big deal? The answer, guys, is no, not yet. But the Super Bowl was the lowest scoring in history. This opening game was the lowest scoring in several years. Are we seeing a trend? Have defenses caught up to the offenses? Too early to say, but I got my eye on it. So your answer to the question is no, not yet.
Well, listen, we are allowed to deduce based on, listen, of course you got 15 games to go. But damn it, if somebody looks like a scrub, ain't nothing wrong calling them a scrub. Now, I'm not going to sit up there and go that far and call Mitchell Trubisky that. But what I am going to say is that their offense, albeit ranked 9th overall last year, was 21 in yards and 21st with their passing game.
Bears?
They were not that impressive. And so you know that, and you saw how the Philadelphia Eagles were able to relatively neutralize them in the postseason. You expected something. You know when you go into the offseason and you know your defense is stout and it's legit and it's big time, you got one thing to fix other than your field goal kicking, and that's your offense. And to come out on opening night at Soldier Field against Aaron Rodgers, and all you can put up is 3 damn points on your home turf, That's embarrassing.
You heard that sound.
It's
You
embarrassing.
heard what the Packers say. We wanted to make Mitchell Trubisky play quarterback. They did that. He's 1-6 when he throws the ball more than 35 times. They wanted to put the ball in his hands and see him struggle.
The thing about Trubisky,
and they were successful.
The thing about Trubisky that was eye-opening for me in the beginning is when I saw him outrunning linebackers. He's fast.
Mm-hmm.
But the question for the Bears really is, do they suffer the same fate as the Jags with Blake Bortles? This really good defense with a quarterback who's not what you want him to be. They may be a version of the Jags.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.